Okay, I believe we can see the board clearly. Now, we have PCR 211, and we'll be discussing, all right, the search for peace. Okay, now it is often assumed that all humans, all human beings desire peace. Okay, it is often assumed that all human, all right, all human beings desire peace. How true is this? Okay, so let's find out. Peace is one term that is seen differently, all right, from different perspective, different view, all right, different angle. We can see the term peace from different angles. Okay, now the different ways and senses in which we use the word peace, all right, adds to the confusion about the set statement. Okay, over time, all right, the way we see peace from different perspectives, all right, add further confusion. Now, for instance, the word the word peace may denote freedom from war or the time when a war or conflict ends. Okay? Peace, all right, kind of confusing, all right, the general accepted meaning. Now, don't forget, what we are talking about here is the search for peace. Good afternoon, Miss Florence. It's great to have you on board. Now, like I said earlier, all humans are assumed, all right, to, all right, love or are lovers of peace. But how true is this? Now, let's take a step further. A state can as well be seen. Now, we said the word peace, all right, can be seen as a time of freedom, all right, freedom from what? Freedom from war, or the time when a war or conflict ends with the, all right, signing of peace treatment, peace agreement. When there's an end to war, to a conflict, or to a dispute, we say, thank God, peace has reigned. Thank God, there is now peace. But how to find out soon? Okay, now we have here a calm, quiet state, all right, that is free from disturbance, is still the same term. So, what exactly is it are we talking about when we say peace? All right, is it the time where there is no conflict, or the time when conflicting parties are signed a peace agreement, or a time where there are no disturbances or noise, or a state of mental calm and serenity with no anxiety? Or can we refer to it as freedom from conflict or disagreement among people or groups? All right, or absence of violence. Now you can see that this term called peace has a lot to it. All right, talking about this term peace, you can mean a lot of things. Okay, you can mean a lot of things. All right, it could mean calm, it could mean no violence. All right, it could be mental stability. All right, it could mean, all right, no disturbance. So what are we talking about in essence? One thing we need to understand is that we said something in our retrospective classes. All right, this causes more of, all right, how conflict is how conflict emanates among humans and how should we handle conflict. Now, conflict, as we have said, is a natural thing that must definitely happen. Okay, and in as much as conflict exists, there is also a longing for peace and tranquility. So we need to now go into the study, all right, the study of peace advocates. All right. Now that we understand that certain conflict will always erupt between humans. All right. And as a result of this, humans seeks what we call a time of peace and serenity. All right. And to achieve this, a lot of effort goes into it. So what do we then do? Now we're going to be talking about the emergence of peace. All right. The emergence of peace advocates. Okay, now let's talk about that. Violence and its manifestation, especially at the level of large scale. Can we all hear me? Are we all on the same page? Can we all hear me? Awesome. I think the audio is perfect. Now, violence and its manifestation, especially at the level of large scale upheavals. Now, when we say upheavals, we are simply talking about a sudden change, all right? Drastic sudden change have always generated anxiety among humans, all right? In as much as people, all right, get into conflicting situation or get themselves into conflicting situation, all right, this has caused over time anxiety. Okay. Now, this anxiety led in time to the establishment of coalitions that sought in one way or the other to art, and we say art, to put an end to art of discourage war and violence. And we're talking about the emergence of peace advocate. Now, the reason why we talk about the emergence of peace advocate is because there will be time whereby nations will want to conflict, groups want to conflict, all right, and there is need to ensure that this we can't stop from happening, but let's streamline the chances. Then we have peace advocates. This is why we have peace advocates. So, what is what we are being told here that anxiety, all right, the anxiety of this conflict from happening, all right, the anxiety and the chances of streamlining these situations has led into what we call coalitions, all right, coming together of different groups, different countries to ensure that situations like this are streamlined. All right. Now it says here, although organized peace movement did not appear until the 19th century, all right, did not appear until when? 19th century. Okay, organized. When we say organized, we are talking about a body, all right, that are known, all right, a body known for the advocacy of peace. Okay, not just any random person, but a body, a group of persons, or a group of people or countries coming together, all right, standing out among all odds, against all odds, that this is what we are out for. All right. So now we have um, until 19th century, the modern search for a means of preventing war. All right. So now this peace advocacy or peace movement that we're talking about was a pure indication that enough that people had been fed up. People has gotten to the level whereby they were able to say enough is enough. We need to streamline, or reduce. Definitely when people get into conflicting situations or when people engage in especially violent conflicts, all right, the chances that there might be loss of certain important things are high, all right, and anything that is lost might be difficult to recreate, all right. So there is something that is being lost during this time of violence, especially conflicting violence that are known for some drastic aggravated violence. All right. So it gets to a point, all right, whereby we have the peace movement. And these did not happen until the 19th century, where the modern means, all right, when people are beginning to realize the fact that there should be a way we can prevent war, all right. And this led to what we call the nation states. Nations, all right, states. Are we together? The nation, on nations, nation states. Now, the nation states, like we are discussing, that not until the 19th century, whereby the modern search for the means of preventing war began with the rise of nation states. When we say nation states, right, the nation states is um is primarily concerned, all right, with all right, the nation state as we have it here. The rise of the nation states primarily occurred towards the end of the Middle Age, all right, as Europe monarchies began consolidating power, right? Speaking about the modern states, we are talking about the consolidations of power, all right, by European monarchies, all right, centralizing their government and fostering a sense of national identity among populations. What are we talking about here? The nation state is just telling us more about how nations, right, how countries coming together to identify the fact that we need to put aside our differences and let's stop the loss of certain things that we can come together as one nation. Okay, so not until the 19th century, when modern search for means of preventing war began with the rise of the nation state at the end of the Middle Age. All right, so the nation states started at the end of the Middle Age. Right, the Middle Age was ending, the nation states began. Right, and series of peace advocacy by philosophers and kings. All right, so people were beginning to see the more reasons why there should be peace movements, all right, and activities. So we have that as that. So peace movements are social groups. Okay, speaking of peace movements now, peace movements are social groups that seeks to achieve ideas, all right, such as the ending of particular war, minimize violence between human collectives as a way of achieving world peace. So the peace movement now, they are particular, all right, their objective is to achieve, all right, achieve ending of series of war, all right, violence, minimizing violence, ending certain war, all right, ending certain wars, minimizing, okay, minimizing violence, minimizing violence, all right, okay, and achieving world peace. Okay, so we have world peace. So we have that as that. Now the strategies that they, all right, employ in most cases, some of the strategies they employ in most cases are advocacy of pacifism. All right, advocacy of pacifism, right? Non-violent resistance, even though there are certain violent resistance towards a particular nation, instead of responding back with violence, they encourage non-violence resistance, all right, meaning non-violence response to an aggressive approach. These are some of their strategies. Also, they also use diplomacy, very important, right? The use of diplomacy. All right. I know when we talk about pacifism, we are simply talking about the opposition to war or violence as a means of settling disputes or gaining political, social, or cultural advantage. All right. Pacifism. So we have that as that. Now, let's take a step further. Advocacy for peace among nations. Let's quickly talk about that. Advocacy. Now, the idea that human beings can organize to form a peaceful community of nations was mooted when Immanuel Kant published his seminal book, Perpetuated Peace. Now, the word mooted we are simply talking about was raised, all right? Was raised, or less you can use was encouraged or was propelled, one of you. Okay, so the idea that human beings can organize to form a peaceful community, right? Things, nothing just happened. Somebody started something. Nothing just happened out of the blue, right? There has been somebody who might have initiated a process, but probably he did not finish it or he did not see the success of the process, but at least he initiated it. Right? There we have seen people that worked upon or developed what has been. Okay, so now the idea that human beings can organize to form peaceful community, all right, of nations was mooted when Emmanuel, Emmanuel is like this, Emmanuel, I think that's Kant, all right, when Emmanuel Kant published his seminal book, all right, the Perpetual Peace. Now, what makes his book so special? Now, in his book, Kant argued on a need for the establishment of peaceful world community. All right. He emphasized that there is need for there is need for what we call a peaceful world community where each member state would declare itself as a free state, okay, that respects its citizen and welcome foreign visitor as a fellow rational being. Okay, so now we can say international relation and international relation. Let's use that as for a large scale. International relation was a motion moved by Immanuel Kant. Because according to what Immanuel said here in his book, is that he argued on the need he was known for the individual that argued emphatically on the need for the establishment of a peaceful world community. In as much as these two words are used, all right, world, okay, placed with community. So, in as much as we are far from each other, in as much as our culture, all right, our culture, our land, our people are different people entirely, we can still be a community. Are we getting the point here? In his book, he argues that there is need for us to establish a peaceful, when we see ourselves as one community, when we foster love and good relationship in all ramifications, politics, government, trade, what have you, then we will be streamlining the chances for regular conflict or violence. All right, says whereby each member state would declare itself as a free. Nobody is beckoning. No country, no state is beckoning on some other state. No state is at the beck and call of any other state. Everybody will be independent and we're going to be free. And even as much as we are independent, that does not give us the right to abuse or trample on some other states, which we are powerful more, or which we are powerful, more powerful when it comes to economy, military strength, and the likes. Are we on the same page? Now, it was Kant thinking that if the union of free states promotes peaceful society worldwide, a perpetual peace that is guaranteed by the international community can emerge. All right, this is his view. All right, and he was known for this. So we have that as that. Okay, let's take a step further. Now, okay, I think we're just going to take just a little bit more, then we can call it wrap for today. So let's quickly look at peace and education. Okay, let's look into peace and education. Now, the word peace is derived from the Latin word pax. All right, derived from the Latin word pax. Okay, which literally means a pact, a contract, an agreement, a contract, an agreement to end war or any dispute, conflict between two persons or two people, nations, or antagonistic group of people. All right. So now, peace, the word peace has its genesis from the Latin word pax, which translates end, all right, war or dispute, contract, a pact, an agreement, end war or dispute, and conflict between two people, nations, or antagonistic groups of people. A situation or a period of time in which there is no war, we said this before now, or violence in a country or or area is often referred to as peaceful. So I think this is what we've actually um learned of before. So now let's just move straight to education and peace. Now he said here, in view of mankind, peace with war and violence, all right, a global movement has emerged which recommend the discussion of issue of peace in education as well, all right, at all levels. Peace and education. Why do we need to talk about peace in education? Why do we need to educate people about the word peace? Now, there's an increasing awareness of the increasing global interdependence between people and nations, right? People are beginning to realize how globally nations depend on each other, all right? Therefore, there's need to preach, there's need to create their awareness about peace, okay? Now, it is also believed that education could remove ignorance, all right? Education will what? Remove ignorance, okay? That is often associated with violence. ignorance associated with violence. When you are educated, like we said in our other class, that whatever it is you have gotten, you've acquired knowledge about, your way of thinking about it, the way you approach it automatically changes. Why? Because you are now knowledgeable. All right, you are knowledgeable about the said term, and this places you ahead, gives you an edge right. Okay, so we have that. Now, the use of education for the pursuit of peace will thus involve, okay, training and the practice of conflict resolution and mediation in school. Right. You also have to link the linkage of school activities on ongoing activities in the communities that promote participation by all culture, and we also have uh, development, incorporation of discussion on social movements, peace and non-violent democracy and good governance in school curriculum. So we have that as that basically, and we're going to call it up here for today. And we're going to take it up from values and education for peace in our next class. I believe we have been able to gain something to this class. Please let's do to keep our notes up to date and submit them to the appropriate quarters. So thank you very much, everyone. You have a wonderful evening. Bye for now.